The high seas are rich in marine resources and biodiversity, and they offer mankind vital ecological, economic, social, cultural, scientific, and food security advantages. They are, however, under increasing threat from pollution, especially noise, overexploitation, climate change, and declining biodiversity. Faced with these challenges, the United Nations inked the first High Seas Treaty in a bid to protect the ocean, tackle environmental degradation, fight climate change, and prevent biodiversity loss. What is the United Nations High Seas Treaty? The treaty will create a new body to manage the conservation of marine life and establish marine protected areas on the high seas. Also referred to as the Paris Agreement for the Ocean, the treaty deals with the biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. This Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Treaty, agreed upon at the 5th Environmental Conference in New York, is the fruit of more than a decade of global engagement to find solutions for this crucial global environmental issue. The European Union and its member states have been leading the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction High Ambition Coalition, which played a key role in reaching the agreement. It was launched at the One Ocean Summit 2022 in Brest by President Ursula von der Leyen together with the French presidency of the Council. This implementing agreement is the third of its kind, following specific agreements on seabed mining in 1994 and the management of straddling and highly migratory fish stocks in 1995. The new treaty will allow the establishment of large-scale marine protected areas on the high seas, which are also necessary to meet the global commitment of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Agreement, concluded last December, to protect at least 30% of the ocean by 2030. The agreement will further implement existing principles in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea to achieve a more holistic management of activities carried out on the high seas. It would further support the achievement of the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, in particular Sustainable Development Goal 14, that is life below water. Need for the High Seas Treaty. Areas beyond national jurisdiction cover nearly two-thirds of the world's ocean, comprising the high seas and the seabed beyond national jurisdiction. Previously, these water bodies were open for fishing, shipping, and conducting research, and only about 1% of these waters, also known as the high seas, was under protection, which left the marine life in these waters at high risk of exploitation from threats including climate change, overfishing, and shipping traffic. As per the Red Data Book of the International Union for Conservation of Nature, nearly 10% of marine species were found to be at risk of extinction. Further, the IUCN estimates that 41% of the threatened species are also affected by climate change. Aim of the High Seas Treaty. The High Seas Treaty now places 30% of the world's international waters into marine protected areas by 2030. The treaty aims to protect against potential impacts like deep sea mining. This is the process of collecting minerals from the ocean beds. The treaty, among other things, will put a restriction on how much fishing can be done on the high seas. According to the International Seabed Authority, which oversees licensing, any future activity in the deep sea bed will be subject to strict environmental regulations and oversight to ensure that they are carried out sustainably and responsibly. What are high seas? The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, 1982, is an international agreement that establishes the legal framework for marine and maritime activities. It is also known as the Law of the Sea. It divides the marine areas into 5 main zones, namely internal waters, territorial sea, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone, and the high seas. The low water line along the coast, as officially recognized by the coastal state, is known as baseline. The internal waters are waters on the landward side of the baseline from which the breadth of the territorial sea is measured. The territorial sea extends seawards up to 12 nautical miles from its baselines. The contiguous zone extends seaward up to 24 nautical miles from its baseline. Each coastal state may claim an exclusive economic zone beyond and adjacent to its territorial sea that extends seaward up to 200 nautical miles from its baselines. The ocean surface and the water column beyond the exclusive economic zone are referred to as the high seas. It is considered the common heritage of all mankind and is beyond any national jurisdiction. States can conduct activities in these areas as long as they are for peaceful purposes such as transit, marine science, and undersea exploration. The agreement on the UN High Seas Treaty is a critical step forward in preserving the marine life and biodiversity that are necessary for us and future generations. That concludes the video. I hope you found it informative. Thank you for watching.